Hello everyone, Jessica here and welcome back to my channel. It's time to start making cards with the Simon Says Stamp September card kit called Sea Treasure. I took a sheet of Inka Dinka Doo masking paper and cut it down to 4.5 by 5 3/4 inches, so it's slightly larger than an A2 size card panel. Then used a circle from the We Are Memory Keepers nesting circle die set to cut out a 3-inch diameter circle from that masking paper. I set the circle cutout aside for now, placed the rectangle sheet of masking paper over a piece of Neenah 80-pound cardstock. This month's kit does include one sheet of this paper, which I use all the time. It's a really nice bright white cardstock. I'm going to be using Wild Honey and Spice Marmalade Distress Oxide inks to blend in that circle cutout. I used Wild Honey first and blended until I had a nice even color, and then add the Spice Marmalade to the edges. I love removing masks and seeing that crisp line underneath. It's like removing a stencil, same feeling. I'm covering up the circle to protect it from the ink blending I'm going to be doing on the rest of the card panel. I'm using Spice Marmalade again for right around the circle's outer edge. Then I blend in with Candied Apple and Fired Brick. I'm making sure to go underneath that circle too, just in case I change up my design and decided to show more of the lower portion of this panel. It's not my plan, but you never know. I also added seedless preserves for the outer corners to darken them up a bit and add more color. Now I get to reveal the entire and take off the masks. Masking is so easy and the end results are just gorgeous. There are 3 images of mermaids that come with this large beautiful mermaid stamp set. I'm going to be using the one that is sitting on top of the rock, and I'm stamping her with a simple sentiment with my stamp platform and Gina K Amalgam ink. Since I had already decided that I would use Prismacolor Pencils to color her in, I thought I might use Gamsol, and the Amalgam ink is a very nice ink to use with that mineral spirit. But I didn't end up using Gamsol at all, just the Prismacolor Pencils themselves. I'm going to speed this up a lot. I'll be the first to say that I'm not the best at Prismacolor Pencils. I'm still learning. I do love using them and blending with them, but I have a heavy hand. That's why markers are easier for me, I think. Because of this heavy hand of mine, my coloring with the Prismacolor Pencils always has a more saturated, heavy blended look, which I actually like. And if you have any kind of hand issues, this is a hard way to color because it does put a lot of strain on your hand. Luckily, I don't have severe issues with my hands yet, and I'm comfortable coloring like this for smaller images. Larger ones, I definitely need to take a break. Also, I'm coloring on Neenah 80-pound Solar White smooth cardstock. So most of the time with colored pencils, you do color on a more toothier paper, something that has a little more texture to it. With Neenah cardstock, you can only get a few layers in before the paper won't take any more pigment. I'm using green and blue colors for her hair. If you want to know the exact colors I'm using, I do have them all listed on my blog. All the other products I use for this card I have listed below in the description, of course. To the left of the screen, you can see my pencil case that I keep all of my colored pencils in. I keep these and my markers in cases even in my craft room. I know it looks pretty when they are all displayed, but I like these because it takes up less room and I can take them wherever I want. So I can take the whole set wherever I want to go. Sometimes we do go camping and I'll take them, or I do take them out to the living room and watch a movie with my husband sometimes. That's just the way that I find it's easiest for me to store them. For the tail, I pull color inspiration from the Distress Oxide ink blending I did earlier. I have the hex chart for Prismacolors from Sandy Allnock. She's well known for her Copic hex chart and recently released some new ones, and I was excited to see Prismacolor Pencils as one of them. These charts really do help with blending. The paint on the pencils don't always match the pigment of the lead, so it's nice to see the actual color before you start coloring. One thing that I sometimes do when I color a stamped image with colored pencils is trace the stamped lines with a micron pen. Once I'm done coloring, I'm using the 08 size, and this will make the lines just stand out more. The beautiful Mermaid stamp set also has a coordinating die available. It does not come in the card kit, but is sold separately. I'm going to fussy cut my Mermaid out though, using my pretty teal Fisker spring-loaded scissors. It's a pretty simple shape, so it doesn't take very long. Once I have her cut out and set aside, I'm also going to start creating the waves for this card. I'm using luxury Emboss Deep Sea Dive Tonic paper that comes with this month's kit, and you can also purchase it separately in packs of 5. This paper is pretty on film, but in person it definitely has a wow factor to it. The texture is amazing, but also the paper is cotton paper and has a really nice feel to it. The shine though is what sets this apart, I think. It creates movement and looks like foil almost. The back side of this paper is a very dark blue and has a matte finish, so I thought I would use both sides. I've used a large scallop rectangle die from Spellbinders as a guide to create the waves. I could have drawn it out, but the embossed paper is hard to see a pencil line. I did try that. To adhere the embossed paper, I'm using multi-medium matte glue. I layer a wave just under the midpoint of the Distress Ink Blend Sun, and then I adhere the Mermaid. Then I add another wave layer, except this one I have flipped so that the dark blue matte side is showing. Then I add another wave layer of the shiny embossed side and partially overlap the mermaid tail and rock. Then I trim off all the overhang with my Fisker spring-loaded scissors. I tried another wave layer with the Aqua glitter paper, but I didn't like the way it looks, so I peeled it off and flipped it upside down, then trimmed off the wave portions, so it's a straight 4" by 3/4 inch strip. This entire piece is then adhered to a Neenah Solar White 110-pound card base, which is my go-to card base, and I use my ATG for that. For a final touch, I do add a large gold sequins to her hair and layer a smaller one inside of it. I did try a small pink sequins. I didn't like the look of it, so I traded that out for a gold one. I also add some white highlights with a Signo white gel pen to her hair, seashells, and tail. Also add darker spots with a dark blue pencil to her tail too. Then after trimming the simple sentiment that I had stamped along with the mermaid earlier, I layer that over the top. For the inside, I use the other 2 mermaid images, but I only use their tails. And one of them I stamp with Spice Marmalade, and the other I stamp with the Stormy Sky Distress Oxide ink that comes with the September kit. I stamp one of the sentiments using seedless preserves and a little starfish with fired brick. And that's it from me. Stay tuned for a few pictures. I hope you enjoyed today's video. You can connect with me on Instagram or email me directly or comment below with any questions you might have about card making. All the products I used today are linked on my blog. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to see the latest videos from me. I appreciate you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! Meh, meh.